Good evening, Tallahassee. Another hot and humid day here in the capital city. I'm student meteorologist Jordan Frazier.
And I'm student meteorologist Brantley Kite.
Right now, we had actually a cold front move through our area. I don't know if you got hit with any of those earlier showers.
Yeah, it's moving through right now. We have a bunch of rain. We actually still have some rain on the radar here in our area, especially to the south along the coast. But it's going to be bringing in a lot cooler air and drier air with it, so it's going to be feeling more like fall the next few days.
Yes, especially with these above average temperatures and extremely high dew points and humidity values. I'm ready for a break from all this.
Yeah, we've been very above average as far as our temperatures go for the last several weeks, so it's finally starting to feel like fall around here, but we don't know quite how long it's going to stick around. We'll have more information on that coming up. But first, we're going to take it across the world here towards the United Kingdom and Ireland, where ex-Hurricane Ophelia just made landfall earlier today. That has left, unfortunately, 3 people dead. It's also the 6th major hurricane for this season. So the UK and Ireland have been getting hit with winds all day long.
Wow, that's crazy. Considering with how active this hurricane season has been, it doesn't surprise me that even places we don't normally hear getting hit with hurricanes just getting hit this time, especially by a major one, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's very unusual for tropical systems or ex-tropical systems like this one to make it that far north towards Europe there, but it has left more than 400,000 people without power, and they are still getting winds of more than 50 miles per hour in some areas. The peak, though, was 119 at around 10 o'clock this morning.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. But right now, Colleen has a look out at the wall with a better look at the overview about what's going on today.
Thanks, Jordan and Brantley. Now, we did have a little bit cloudier day than normal, but with that rain, there will be a little bit on the bright side because we have cooler temperatures on the way, with 77 currently in Tallahassee with the dew point at 74, the humidity at 90%. But as we get into tomorrow, we should see that decrease as we do have the dew points around mid to low 74s across the whole Big Bend region. But as we go in tomorrow, we should have that decrease a little bit and bring in more sunshine and dry weather, and with 74 degrees with mixed sun and clouds tomorrow. Now, rain continues through the night, and as this boundary passes, it should bring cooler weather tomorrow and into the rest of the week. But now we're going to go out with Jordan.
Hey, Colleen. Right now, we're going to start talking about some weather history, as a matter of fact. Right now, today in history, in 1913, the temperature in downtown San Francisco got up to 101 degrees to equal their record for October. And I know it's been hot here lately, but nowhere near 101 degrees.
Yeah, it has not been anywhere near 101 degrees, and I hope that doesn't happen.
No, the heat indices might say otherwise, but actual air temperature, no, nowhere close. Also, in 1937, an unlikely winter-like storm produced as much as 10 inches of snow already in Minnesota and Iowa by this day. So early October, you see a lot of snowfall already, almost a foot of snow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, the weather does some crazy things sometimes and out of the pattern, but usually it gets back on mainstream over time.
Yes.
Those are just occurrences.
Of course, especially when you're talking about something like weather, that's a day-to-day occurrence, while something like climate, which is what we base our averages off of, that's taken over the past 30 years of data. So when it says we broke a record high, that means we haven't broken that record in over 30 years.
Wow, yeah. Well, I hope it cools off soon here eventually.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we had our cold front come through today. I don't know if you had to run away from the rain earlier on campus today. I know I did. Barely got out of it.
I was actually sitting in class and it started raining out, so that was a little damper.
That was the frontal passage.
But I knew some cooler weather was going to come, so it was worth it.
Yes, especially when we start to see those highs and lows as we get later into the 7-day. As a matter of fact, I think Brantley will have us a little bit of information about that out at the wall.
That's right, Jordan. Today we got up to a high of 87 degrees, and that was still very above average for this time of the year. The low temperature earlier this morning also very above average, and we're going to see these temperatures get back towards these average or maybe even slightly below as we go into the next few days after a cold front passes through. We just saw a band of thunderstorms move through about an hour ago. We still have a few storms as we zoom in towards our local radar here on the south part of our viewing area towards St. Mark's and Carabel, they actually have a special marine warning up right now because those storms are still out there causing some problems, especially for boaters. Our high temperatures today got to 87 degrees in Tallahassee. It was even warmer down in Apalachicola there along the coast. Other places saw temperatures generally in the mid to upper 80s, but now our temperatures have already cooled off thanks to that rain and the cloud cover. Whereas now at 77 in Tallahassee, it's still a little bit warmer there along the coast, 80 in Apalachicola, 71 in Carabel where they just had those really heavy thunderstorms, 75 in St. Mark's. Our local dew points are also very high because of that moisture surging in ahead of that rain. 74 in Tallahassee. The closer that temperature is, or the dew point is to our temperature is how damp it feels outside. And our dew point at 74, our temperature at 77 is showing that it is very damp. It's almost 95% relative humidity out there, so it's feeling pretty uncomfortable if you go outside. Our temperatures tonight, 60 degrees. We're going to have a 60% chance of rain. It's going to be a very cool night ahead. Once the rain clears out of the area, we're going to have those cool temperatures following. We're also going to have our winds switch to be coming out of the northeast following the passage of that cold front at 10 to 15 miles per hour, so it might be breezy. You might even need a light jacket. But the real time you're going to need the light jacket is tomorrow morning when you head out the door. Our low tomorrow morning is 61 degrees. Our high is only 73, but we do have some sunshine returning tomorrow, and it's going to stick around for the next few days. We have a high returning to 80 degrees on Wednesday, so we will have some gradual warming, but Wednesday morning it's still going to be pretty chilly out there at about 56 degrees. Thursday, 80 degrees again, are seeing pretty similar lows at 60. Friday, partly cloudy at 83. And then Saturday, we're going to see it getting back to, so a few more clouds in the sky with temperatures back into the mid-80s. Now we're going to take a broader look at our weather here in the southeast with Megan.
Thanks a lot, Brantley. So it's feeling a bit like fall here in Tallahassee, but the entire state of Florida is staying pretty warm. We're going to go ahead and pan out. Take a look at the entire southeast region. You see these temperatures gradually getting hotter as we go south in Florida. 86 there in Key West with the hottest temperature in the state. 77 in Tallahassee. As we go north all the way up to Little Rock, things get a little bit lower at 67. So just a wide spectrum of temperatures currently throughout the southeast region. Our dew point, though, sitting at 74. As Brantley just said, that's very humid outside, so the temperature is a little bit lower, but it's still pretty sticky and muggy, as Florida always gives us. 73 in Orlando, 73 Miami. As we go north, we will see that.
Send it to the desk.
All right, as we were talking about, we see that as we go north, things get a little bit lower, like the temperature dew point drops, 39 here, 37 in Little Rock, so they're sitting a lot cooler up in north. But our satellite and radar right now, we see this right here, this frontal passage moving across the region. A lot of stuff going on here in the Gulf with a lot of pop-up showers and precipitation, but nothing that's really affecting Tallahassee too much. The immediate region down here in South Florida staying pretty dry, so they're sitting warm and dry in South Florida. As we can see, our water vapor upper level showing us we have a lot of humid air right here, but right behind that humid air, this entire area of dry air, we will be feeling that in the next few days. As those temperatures drop, that dry air is welcomed in with it. Our current winds, not much in Tallahassee, just 3 miles an hour, but Orlando, 5 times that at 15 miles an hour from the northeast there. Key West 6, Miami 6, just mild as we go south, but as we move north, we see those temperatures, those winds increase a little bit. 17 in Atlanta, 15 in Tupelo, so they have cooler temperatures and higher winds, so a lot different weather as we go north. Tonight's forecast, we see 61, not reaching the 50s yet, but 60 sitting a lot cooler than we were this time last week. As we move south in Florida, 73, 76, Key West, barely getting below 80 tonight at 79. New Orleans, though, 57. Look at Little Rock, reaching the 40s. So signs of fall are on the way for the southeast region tonight. Tomorrow, we see temperatures looking beautiful in Tallahassee, 79 and sunny. That's perfect temperatures. Sun all throughout the entire region. Not a speck of cloud or precipitation in the region. As we go South Florida, though, we see Miami, Key West, Orlando getting a little bit of that rain, but that is missing the northern region and the northern states in the southeast region, so we're sitting really nice tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and talk about things at the desk. Jordan, we have some fun facts for fall. I know we talked about fall earlier, but when it comes to fall, there's just some stuff that people don't really know about this season.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have our very first fact on here. Americans typically refer to this time of year as fall, while the British use the word autumn. I've heard both used about equally. However, both terms date back to the 16th century, but before that, it was called just harvest.
And yeah, I think it was called the harvest because of the harvest moon. We all know that famous bright orange moon in the sky.
Yes,
And
it's
I
always
think,
cool to see.
yeah, that is cool. That occurs when the full moon is closest to the autumn equinox. Before we had man-made lighting, candles, and electrical lighting. The moonlight was essential to a good harvest, so harvest moon.
Sounds absolutely perfect. Makes sense why they named it that.
Yeah.
Also, our third fact, weight gain around this time of year may not only be due to comforting fall foods like pumpkin pie and cider, but researchers have found that a lack of vitamin D reduces fat breakdown and triggers fat storage.
Yeah, I'm definitely one to gain a little bit of weight this time of year. I'm a huge pie fan, and of course, you gotta think about Thanksgiving and Christmas meals.
Think about like getting that extra fat to bundle up, stay warm for the winter.
Yeah,
not
but when
much for Florida, but
when temperatures drop a little bit, I don't mind going for a run in the late afternoon, you know, so there's no excuse there. But
yes.
yeah, so when it comes to the leaves in fall, those famous, beautiful orange and yellow colors, the yellow and orange colors actually always exist in leaves, but they are overpowered by the abundance of green from chlorophyll. So the amount of chlorophyll starts to decrease as the sun weakens and the days grow shorter.
That's
So
really cool.
they're always there, just in a bit of disguise, as you could say. So
Yeah. We also have red and purple leaves are only that color because of the presence of sugars and sap that they are trapped within the leaves. That actually makes sense because a lot of the maple trees and like those maple trees, you see a lot of those like purple leaves amongst those like orange and reds too.
Yeah,
Especially
fall
when I
is
go
just
up
so
north
beautiful.
visit,
I mean,
it's
I'm
so
from
cool.
South Florida, so I never got to see any kind of seasonal change from there. But
No.
in Tallahassee, we do get a little bit of that seasonal change.
A little bit of fall foliage you
Yeah.
see. However, Florida, our fall foliage is more of trees just dying rather than changing color, as sad as it is to say.
Not as pretty, but still interesting.
Yes.
So when we talk about species in the fall, many birds will prepare for their winter migration. The distance they can travel is impressive. Actually, the Arctic tern travels 11,000 miles each way for its annual migration. 11,000 miles.
That's certainly no small feat, I'll
Yeah,
tell you that.
that is crazy. But we're going to travel a little bit shorter of a distance and just go
Yes.
ahead and send it out to the wall with Colleen.
Thank you. Now we are in the midst of a boundary making its way to Tallahassee. As we notice, there's a lot more clouds out on the weather stem as we go into today and into tonight. But as we go into the mid-evening hours, those clouds should dissipate away and the cool weather is here and it's going to stay for a day or two. Now today the average was a high of 87, the average is 81, but the record was 92, so it has been hotter this time of the year. The cool weather is coming though, as we do sit around the mid to low 70s across the whole Big Bend region, with 77 in Tallahassee, 75 in St. Mark's, and as we make our way down the coast to Caribou, it's sitting at 72 degrees, which is fairly comfortable, but what makes it uncomfortable is all the rain that's out there. Now, the dew point, the closer the dew point is the temperature is the higher the humidity. So currently the dew point is around 74 Monticello. But as we go in tomorrow, as this dry air makes its way in, the dew point should decrease a whole 10 unit points into 63, 66 in St. Mark's, 58 in Wilma, and we should expect a cool and beautiful day tomorrow in Tallahassee, and even drops down to low 30s as a dew point into Wednesday. So that is dry air, and it's on our way as we do see this squall line make its way towards Tallahassee and Monticello. We do have spots around St. Perry that are getting some spotted showers, but across the whole region, these clouds will make its way southeastward and dissipate as we go into the nightly hours. So we shouldn't have to worry about rain tomorrow, just a little bit more tonight. And as we do have a 60% chance of rain, but a cool night ahead in the 60s. It might even break into the mid to low 50s tonight. So a great night to go outside and enjoy that cool weather and a little taste of what the fall has to offer. Now we're going to send it on over tomorrow's outlook. It's a mix of sun and clouds with 74 degrees, and the fall weather has arrived. As we go into the 5-day forecast, we do have these cooler temperatures sticking for a little while, 73 on Tuesday, and as we go into the weekend, it creeps up to mid to upper 80s. Now we're going to send it over to Colby for a look at the national.
Hey, thanks, Colleen. Let's take a look at those national conditions right now. Places out further west, very calm weather dominated by the area of high pressure. You can see 77 there in Denver, almost summer-like, sitting at 96 down in Phoenix. Very strong ridging out west, contributing to those warmer temperatures. But hey, the story back to the southeast is really this front. I'll actually step out where you can see there, and wow, 66 there in Atlanta for the evening temperature right now, 73 down in the Big Easy of New Orleans. The satellite radar, let me actually go over here where I can explain this a little bit, and you can see the front right here draped from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., back down to the south and to the west. At places like Atlanta, Tallahassee, it's moved on through and it's pushing back off to the southeast, that shower and thunderstorm activity, and then really out west, all quiet, very strong ridging in place. Possible showers up in the Cascades. Really wish we could help with that fire, those fires in Northern California, but that's not going to be the case with that very strong ridging. That will actually contribute to the fire danger there. Speaking of that fire danger, you can see these watches, warnings, and advisories here. Red flag warnings, portions of Wyoming, and then even up into the northern Rockies there of Montana. So a lot of danger right now with that low humidity out west and with those strong winds. Those really can flare up those fires and can contribute to that wildfire threat. That's not good news out west. And then as we go a little further back east, this is actually a frost advisory for portions of the mid-Atlantic and then into the northeastern states. Down here, it's going to be more of a coastal advisory. We had those showers and thunderstorms that actually pushed off, now are pushing off into the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean there. But really, wow, look at this temperature change. So places behind the front, we've actually had some resurgence of that strong ridging out west. So it's actually 13 degrees warmer in Denver right now than it was 24 hours ago. Up in the Twin Cities there, 14 degrees warmer. And then, wow, can we play a little game of like, where's the front? Because you can see it right here, draped across the Ohio River Valley of the Midwest and then extending down into the deep south. And wow, look at that, 14 degrees cooler in Atlanta than you were 24 hours ago. Wow, really cold there up in Boston, 17 degrees. So really providing some much needed relief. And really you can see that, wow, the dew point values there. 37 in Memphis, starting to have that dry air really surging out of Canada. You're starting to feel the effects here in Atlanta at 46. And that again is with that front there positioned across the southeast. Really good placement there and allowing for some relief for us here in Tallahassee. Really can see that we're there with the water vapor back behind the front, bringing in a lot of that dry air out of Canada. But there will be a little bit of resurgence with that strong ridging pattern. But really, it's going to provide us some really comfortable conditions for the next couple days. Wow, tonight, 41 out in Denver, 39 Salt Lake City. Very reminiscent for that strong ridging pattern out there. And that's definitely typical with that area of high pressure. For our area, it's really going to be 61 tonight here in Tallahassee, 48 in Atlanta, so definitely want to get the hoodies out there. And then for tomorrow's forecast, 77 in Dallas, 79 out in Denver. Look at all the full suns, mostly sunny conditions for a majority portion of the country, 79 here in Tallahassee, so very nice. And I'm actually we'll take things out even further with a look at a special situation that's actually going on right now in Mexico, and I'm going to join Brantley to talk a little bit more about that.
That's right, Cole. We've been talking a lot about the cold front, and one of the cooler things with cold fronts is a thing called a Tehuano wind. It's a violent mountain gap wind, and it occurs in the southern parts of Mexico, just off the Bay of Campeche, between Mexico City and like places like Veracruz, where they have large mountain ranges. This cold front brings those strong northerly winds, and they flow right over the mountain, and it creates very violent winds for people around there. They can reach up to 100 miles per hour in some locations.
So almost like sticking your thumb over, the water hose, the winds become stronger through the smaller passage of area.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. Isn't it incredible how our weather here can have such large impacts?
Yeah. The cold front is stretching all the way down there through Mexico, and there's high pressure just on the other side of it. So those pressure systems being pushed together there are creating really strong winds, and this is probably the first really strong cold front we've seen this year, so that really adds to it. They haven't seen these kind of winds in a couple of years since we had since the peak of the last El Nino season. Oh wow, that's just incredible. I mean, you get the front and then how those effects are felt so far away, so really, really awesome there. I know, I'm glad the fronts came through. It's really provided us with some relief from that heat and that humidity, so I mean, it feels great, doesn't it? All right, now we're going to take things over, talk more about this cold front in the lab with Jordan.
Thanks so much, Brantley. First, let's go ahead and start talking about exactly here we had a cold front come in. There are two big things that happen when a cold front moves in, and that is one, a lot of moisture leaves our area. We're going to see a lot more drier weather coming in, so you're going to see those heat indices drop significantly. We also see an increase of moisture before the front comes. Because that cold air starts to push a lot of the moisture into our area. Notice how this area here says rain and storms just before the front. I'll go ahead and zoom this camera in for you so you can see that over there. There we go. You start to see those rain and storms. And you have that low pressure system just sitting right above us. And there's that front. It's going to slowly start to make its way down, and then it's going to become stationary. And that's just going to stay there and bring a lot of moisture and a lot of rain to South Florida. So notice how the large lack of moisture behind the front right about here. These high colors and high height of these clouds will show a lot of moisture in our atmosphere, but right behind it you start to see this very dark area, and that's just area where there's no moisture whatsoever, and it's actually hard to find some. So we will start to see a lot more drier conditions. My favorite has to be our futurecast temperatures, and that is going to bring, right now here we have about 87 degrees here in Tallahassee, but we will start to see those temperatures drop significantly. Let me move this over so you can see a little bit more as we go into the forecast days. Notice as we head into the night, we're going to start to see about 70 degrees, but look at these look at these lows. Starting to see some 50s dip into our region, and then by the next day, we're going to see about 64 degrees as some of our lows, and even the highs, they're going to start to reach even just the mid-70s, which is so much nicer for us. But now we're going to hand it back to the desk.
Thanks, Jordan. We can see those temperatures right now, 85 in Jacksonville, 77 in Tallahassee, and where the cold front passage has already taken place in Pensacola, they're down to 70, and they're already starting to see those sunny skies again. We're going to see those tomorrow. Still, though, for Central and South Florida, those warmer temperatures, 84 in Orlando, 89 in Tampa. Most of Central and South Florida under partly cloudy skies, except for Key West. They are seeing nice and sunny skies down there. We're going to see more clouds move through as this cold front moves through, but we are going to see a few showers with that as well. Our 24-hour temperature change does show that Pensacola is down 13 degrees from this time yesterday. Tallahassee's down about 9 degrees from this time yesterday. Other places, they haven't seen much of a cool change because they haven't received the cold front yet. It's going to be coming through in the overnight hours. Our winds, though, are strong out of Pensacola at 14 miles per hour. Tallahassee is pretty light right now at 3. We are starting to see the winds switch to more out of a northerly direction, and we have winds from variable directions in Central and South Florida. Orlando is getting pretty high there at 15 miles per hour. Is getting pretty breezy. Our water vapor in the upper levels, this green color here shows the more damp air, the orange is the more dry air. So we had a patch of dry air move through, and ahead of this cold front, a lot of damp air is moving through as we head in from the weekend into the start of this work week. And right behind it, we do have some more orange dry air expected to come in tonight and tomorrow. Our satellite and radar does show that this line of thunderstorms has been moving through over the last couple of hours for our viewing area. We still have that special marine warning just south of our area here in places like St. Mark's, Perry, Carabel, because we do have a few strong thunderstorms still sitting over there. And our futurecast radar shows that this line of thunderstorms will be patchy as it moves over the peninsula of Florida, and it's going to keep on moving through as we go into the overnight hours before clearing up tomorrow. Tonight's forecast, 61 degrees in Tallahassee, 73 in Orlando, 79 in Key West, a little bit warmer down there. And then also tomorrow we have a high of 79 and 84 in Orlando. They're going to be seeing some storms, though, as that cold front starts to move through. Now we're going to take a closer look at our local weather with Colby.
Hey, thanks, Brantley. Let's take a look at those current conditions. Now, if you're down on the coast, a little bit warmer, still at 84 degrees. However, if you go further inland to up here in Tallahassee or over at the airport, we're sitting at 77. Dew point still at 74 degrees. That humidity there at 90%. That wind starting to get dominant out of the north. That is definitely reminiscent of cold front passage there at 15 miles per hour. So around 3:30, roughly 3:30, we had some showers and thunderstorms that moved through. So nice line oriented from the northeast back to the southwest, Monticello, Tallahassee, and toward Wilma. They remained strong. There was a warning just south of town, a severe thunderstorm warning that happened for about 30 minutes for some 60-mile-per-hour winds. really, you can see those winds 9 there in Bainbridge, 10 Mariana. Those have actually now started to dominate out of the north now as that front has moved on through. And you can see here at Perry, that front's still setting there because those winds are more out of the southwest. So you can really see that front just setting just to the north and west of Perry as it continues its trip back to the east. Water vapor, really the same story. We had some water vapor earlier, but it's really all frontal there. You can see St. Mark's then coming off the coast. Much drier area is going to be ushered back in behind that front. For tonight's forecast, we're going to get down to 60s. Still a very slight chance across the viewing area of possibly a shower, a remnant, or a shower hanging on there. But really, that precipitation that moved through was really the only harbinger of any plan breakers that we're going to see this evening. Things will clear off absolutely as we go into the night. Very brisk winds though, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So definitely hold on to those hats there. For Tuesday, 74, so very comfortable. It's going to be much drier air and cooler, so very welcoming. I know during the summer we had temperatures that were in the 80s and 90s, and really over the last couple weeks it's been really reminiscent of more like summer temperatures rather than fall. Wind will stay dominant, 10-15 miles per hour there, so again that fall weather has arrived. So looking at that 7-day, and boy, there's a lot to look at. We'll start with Tuesday, 73, and then as we go into the Wednesday, we see this resurgent of the 80s come back in, but it's a drier air, so not as bad. Look at that low on Wednesday morning at 56, so really a lot of dry air coming in, and definitely those conditions will be nice. I know we do have a big game against Louisville there on Saturday, 84 degrees, looking really nice there. And here's something you don't notice. You don't see the rain chances, and that's really a welcome sight. We'll have that front come through. That high pressure really begins to dominate, and those lows staying very comfortable in the 60s. And we're going to throw it back to Colleen and Megan for one last look at the desk.
For that great forecast. Now Halloween is just a few weeks away. Do you have any traditions that you like to do around Halloween?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to go trick-or-treating and get candy, but now that I'm almost 21, it looks a little weird. But, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some nice parties, pass out candy. Just, it's going to be hopefully weather like this, beautiful weather, low rain chances, so we can enjoy that time of year.
I'm praying for a really cool Halloween this year.
Yeah, it's always so much nicer when the weather is nice. And look at that 7-day, beautiful temperatures, especially on Thursday. Not even any clouds in the sky. High 80, low is 60.
So what Thursday is what I want Halloween to be.
Yeah, that would be perfect. But the entire week really just looks great. I kind of want those highs to be a little bit lower, but, you know, I can't complain. We're not in the 90s like we were a few weeks ago, so we're gradually getting there, just dropping into those fall temperatures.
Yeah, it always takes a little bit, but once it's here, it comes.
Yeah.
We just need that one cold front to bring in all that dry, cool air, and then we'll feel like it's winter here.
Yeah, those 60s at night are perfect, though, because if you want to, take a night walk or, walk across campus, if you're leaving the library, it's just really refreshing, nice weather.
Yeah, I feel more motivated when it's cooler outside.
Yeah.
I feel happy when I walk to class,
Yeah,
not drenched in sweat.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So hopefully this temperature's dropping soon. Pumpkin carving is right around the corner, so do stuff outdoors like that when the weather's nice.
Yes, I'm definitely going to the pumpkin patch. I'm having pumpkins all over my house for at least until after Christmas.
Yeah, we're all so excited for Halloween here. It's my favorite time of the year for sure.
It's definitely a great time for you to be yourself, dress up whoever you want. But also, don't forget to like us on Facebook, FSU Weather, and Twitter, FSU Weather, and we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 6:30.
We got all the social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course every night here at 6 o'clock, FSU Weather. Thanks for tuning in. I'm student meteorologist Megan Berry.
And I'm student meteorologist Colleen Peterson.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.